The Shroud of Turin has long been a subject of fascination and debate, captivating believers and skeptics alike. This linen cloth, bearing the faint image of a crucified man, has been revered by many as the burial shroud of Jesus Christ, while others argue it is an elaborate medieval forgery. To understand this enigmatic artifact fully, we must delve deep into its history, examine the scientific analyses conducted over the years, address the myths and misconceptions surrounding it, and explore its cultural and religious significance in the modern world. The history of the shroud. The origins of the Shroud of Turin are shrouded in mystery, with historical records providing only glimpses into its past. Some traditions claim that the shroud dates back to the time of Christ, suggesting it was the very cloth that wrapped Jesus' body after the crucifixion. However, the first undisputed historical reference to the shroud emerges in the 14th century. In the small village of Lirey, France, around the year 1354, a French knight named Geoffrey de Charny displayed a linen cloth bearing the image of a crucified man. This event marks the earliest documented appearance of the shroud. Geoffrey's motives for presenting the cloth remain unclear, but it quickly attracted pilgrims and sparked both veneration and skepticism. The local bishop of Troyes, Henri de Poitiers, conducted an investigation and declared the shroud a fake, stating that an artist had confessed to painting it. Despite this condemnation, the shroud continued to be venerated by many. Geoffrey de Charny's granddaughter, Marguerite de Charny, inherited the cloth and in 1453, transferred it to the House of Savoy. This noble family safeguarded the shroud for over a century. In 1578, the shroud found a new home in Turin, Italy, when the House of Savoy moved it to the city's cathedral. This relocation aimed to provide a more permanent and secure setting for the relic. Over the centuries, the shroud survived several calamities, including fires and wars, which threatened its existence. Notably, in 1532, a fire in the chapel where the shroud was stored left scorch marks and water stains on the cloth, yet the enigmatic image remained intact. Throughout its history, the shroud has been a focal point of religious devotion. The Catholic Church, while never officially declaring the shroud as the authentic burial cloth of Christ, has treated it with profound reverence. Pilgrims from around the world have journeyed to Turin to view the shroud, especially during rare public exhibitions. Scientific investigations and controversies. The advent of modern science brought new tools and methodologies to examine the shroud, leading to a series of investigations that sought to determine its authenticity. In 1898, Italian photographer Secondo Pia was granted permission to photograph the shroud. Upon developing the negatives, Pia was astonished to discover that the image on the cloth appeared as a photographic negative, revealing a detailed and lifelike representation of a man's face and body. This discovery sparked widespread interest and prompted further scientific inquiry. Throughout the 20th century, various tests were conducted to analyze the shroud's image and materials. Researchers employed techniques such as spectroscopy, infrared analysis, and X-ray fluorescence to study the cloth's composition. These studies aimed to determine whether the image was the result of pigments, dyes, or other artistic methods. One of the most significant scientific examinations occurred in 1978 when the Shroud of Turin Research Project, STURP, assembled a team of experts to conduct an in-depth analysis. The team concluded that the image was not painted, dyed, or stained and that it possessed unique three-dimensional properties. However, the exact mechanism that produced the image remained elusive. In 1988, a pivotal moment in the shroud's modern history unfolded when radiocarbon dating tests were performed. Small samples of the cloth were sent to 3 laboratories in Oxford, Zurich, and Tucson. The results dated the fabric to between 1260 and 1390 CE, suggesting a medieval origin and casting doubt on the shroud's authenticity as a relic from the time of Christ. Critics of the radiocarbon dating results have raised several objections. Some argue that the samples tested may have been taken from areas of the cloth that were repaired during the Middle Ages, a process known as invisible reweaving, which could have introduced newer materials and skewed the dating results. Others suggest that contamination from centuries of handling, exposure to fire, and environmental factors may have affected the carbon content of the samples. Further studies have explored alternative dating methods and analyses. For instance, some researchers have examined pollen grains and dust particles collected from the shroud, identifying species native to the Middle East. This finding has been interpreted by some as evidence supporting the shroud's origin in the region where Jesus lived and died. Despite extensive scientific scrutiny, the exact nature and origin of the shroud's image remain subjects of debate. The lack of consensus among scientists has only fueled the enduring mystery surrounding this enigmatic artifact. Debunking the myths. The Shroud of Turin has been the subject of numerous myths, misconceptions, and sensational claims. Addressing these is essential to separate fact from fiction. One prevalent myth is the assertion that the shroud is a painting created by a medieval artist. However, scientific analyses have found no evidence of pigments, dyes, or brushstrokes that would indicate a traditional painting technique. The image's superficial nature, affecting only the topmost fibers of the cloth, and its unique three-dimensional properties suggest a formation process not consistent with known artistic methods of the Middle Ages. Another misconception involves the theory that Leonardo da Vinci created the shroud as an elaborate hoax, using early photographic techniques to imprint his own face onto the cloth. Proponents of this theory point to the shroud's first documented appearance in the 14th century, during da Vinci's lifetime. However, historical records indicate that the shroud was known and venerated before da Vinci's birth in 1452, rendering this theory chronologically implausible. Some theories propose that the image on the shroud was formed by natural chemical reactions involving bodily fluids and the linen cloth. While experiments have demonstrated that such reactions can produce discolorations on fabric, replicating the precise characteristics of the shroud's image, its resolution, depth, and anatomical accuracy has proven challenging. The notion that the shroud's image was created by a burst of radiant energy, such as ultraviolet light or radiation emitted during the resurrection of Jesus, has also been suggested. While this hypothesis aligns with certain theological perspectives, it lacks empirical support and remains speculative. Modern interpretations and significance. In contemporary times, the Shroud of Turin continues to be a focal point of religious devotion, scientific research, and cultural discourse. For many believers, the shroud serves as a tangible connection to the events of Christ's passion and resurrection. It has become an object of pilgrimage, prayer, and reflection. The Catholic Church, while not officially endorsing the shroud's authenticity, has recognized its value as an aid to faith and devotion. The shroud has also permeated popular culture, inspiring works of art, literature, and film. Documentaries and books explore its mysteries, presenting various perspectives and theories. Artistic representations of Christ often draw upon the visage depicted on the shroud, influencing iconography and religious imagery. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history and mystery, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.